I watched her, smiling that fake smile as she leaned toward my champagne glass. I froze. My stomach dropped. I knew exactly what she was doing. My own mother-in-law, trying to ruin my wedding. And in that moment I made a decision that would change everything. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. Months of planning, flowers, dresses, seating arrangements, all leading to this one magical moment. And I had imagined my mother-in-law being there, smiling, perhaps even shedding a tear of happiness. Then I was about to discover that the person standing closest to me was silently plotting my downfall. For context, my mother-in-law, let's call her Diane, had always been difficult. Polished, charming to outsiders, but cold, manipulative, and vindictive toward me. From day one, she subtly undermined everything I did, from criticizing my engagement party choices to making snide comments about my cooking. My husband, bless him, had no idea. He just assumed she was quirky. As we entered the reception hall, my heart pounded, not from nerves but from unease. Diane was there, of course, standing perfectly poised near the champagne table. I tried to shrug it off. Maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I was paranoid. But deep down I knew better. The toast began. Glasses clinked. Laughter echoed. I caught her movement out of the corner of my eye, her hand dipping toward my glass, then subtly letting something fall in. My heart stopped. Poison? Sedative? Something to humiliate me? I don't know what it was, but my instincts screamed, don't drink it. Time seemed to slow. My pulse raced. My palms were slick. I glanced at my husband, unaware, laughing with his groomsmen. Diane's eyes met mine for a split second, just enough for me to see that cold, calculating smile that always made my skin crawl. That's when I knew I couldn't let her win. I acted without thinking, or maybe with perfect thinking. My hand slipped to the glass next to mine, my mother-in-law's. In a smooth, deliberate move I switched them. No one noticed. I kept my calm, all the while feeling the adrenaline spike, the weight of revenge settling in like fire in my veins. I took a sip of the now safe glass, pretending to toast her. And then I waited. Waiting is the hardest part. Each second felt like eternity. I watched her, polite laughter on her lips, but she was about to realize that I was no longer the naive bride she thought I was. But let me back up for a moment. Diane's behavior didn't start at the wedding. She had been undermining me for months, testing boundaries, trying to prove that I didn't belong in her family. She'd criticize my outfit, question my cooking, complain about the way I interacted with my husband. And he loved me, but he was blinded by her charm. I felt powerless. Every insult, every sly remark chipped away at my confidence. I had been planning quietly, patiently for months. Not revenge exactly, but the day I would no longer feel powerless. The day Diane's arrogance would meet reality. And now it was here. Right at my wedding. As the speeches continued, Diane, unaware, leaned in to chat with my aunt. I watched her drinking her glass. The smirk faded. She coughed. She looked confused. Panic flickered in her eyes. My heart raced, but in the best possible way. She had no idea that the glass she thought was mine was now hers. And then it hit. A sudden flush of dizziness, a stammer in her voice. She tried to mask it, but she couldn't. I leaned slightly toward her, smiling politely, and whispered in my mind, "Karma is real." I didn't need to make a scene. That would ruin my wedding, and my revenge was too sweet to waste on theatrics. Instead, I let it play out naturally. I kept my face neutral, enjoying the irony. Diane had spent months trying to control me, humiliate me, manipulate my wedding. And now, the universe, or maybe just me, was giving her a taste of her own medicine. My husband remained blissfully unaware, toasting our happiness. Guests laughed, danced, and took photos. No one suspected the quiet chaos unfolding at the champagne table. And Diane, fumbling, pale and trembling, was realizing that she had underestimated me, badly. The room smelled of roses and champagne. The clatter of glasses and murmurs of happy guests contrasted with the intense satisfaction simmering inside me. My heartbeat synced with the subtle tremor in Diane's hands. Every sip she took was a silent confession of her own hubris. And I could feel it, the sweet release of vindication, the raw justice of the moment, filling my chest like warmth. I kept my composure, but inside I was dancing. Every thought, "You thought you could ruin my happiness? Think again." Finally, Diane staggered slightly, attracting the attention of a nearby family member. Whispers spread. Concerned faces turned toward her. My husband rushed over, worried, but she tried to smile through it, though her face betrayed panic and humiliation. It was perfect. The very person who had tried to poison my joy was now the one everyone was quietly watching, struggling for composure. I didn't gloat. I didn't even say a word. I simply smiled, toasted my guests, and enjoyed my wedding. The revenge didn't need my voice. It had spoken for itself. And Diane? She left the reception early, forced into hiding by her own actions. I overheard snippets later. I don't understand. And I don't know what happened. She was left with confusion, embarrassment, and the undeniable truth. I had outsmarted her at her own game. As the evening wound down, I sat with my husband, finally able to breathe. My heart was still racing, but not with fear. This was triumph. I realized something important. Revenge isn't about cruelty. It's about reclaiming your power, restoring your dignity, and asserting boundaries when someone tries to strip them away. That day, I didn't just survive my mother-in-law's sabotage. I thrived. I laughed, danced, and celebrated knowing that justice had been served. And in that moment I understood. Sometimes the sweetest victories are the quiet ones, unfolding in plain sight. Life will always throw people at you who try to take advantage of your kindness or underestimate your strength. But what matters is how you respond. Karma has a way of balancing the scales. Sometimes you just have to help it along. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and comment below. Have you ever witnessed or executed a perfectly satisfying revenge? And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more stories that prove justice can come in the most unexpected ways.